Alright, so my neighbor gifted me as a thank you for all the green beans that I gave him from my garden last year. He brought me these back from his family's garden where they grow all sorts of berries. So I have nothing else to do with all these berries, so today we're going to make strawberry jam. I'm going to get these cleaned up and show you the process. Alright, so before I actually get started, I'm going to walk you through everything that I'm going to do, just in case for some reason something doesn't come out in the video correctly, because I won't have time to start and stop and all of those kind of things. But anyhow, I'm going to wash these off. I'm going to slice off the tops and then cut them in half. I'm going to put them in this Pyrex here so that I can mash them up a little bit and get them started. They're going to be cooked. I'm going to peel and core an apple. The reason for the apple is so that I don't have to use anything artificial. Apples have natural pectin, so I'm going to put that in it. I'm going to put some lemon juice. I'm using bottled lemon juice just because I want to be able to control the acidity. So there, we have that. Everything is going to be cooked in this stainless steel pot. I have lids back here that I'm keeping warm. Over here, I have the jars processing. And this is pretty much, they're just staying warm. You don't want it to boil. You just want to keep it at a nice even temperature as so. Then over here, I have 2 cups of sugar that I'm going to use. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, now, so for this amount of strawberries, I'm doing this in 2 batches. Just to make the mashing process a little simpler. So this is just kind of giving everything a help along. So you're not in here all week long trying to get the strawberries to cook down. Some people do this method a little bit differently. You use your discretion. This is just the way that I prefer to do it. I like the chunks of strawberry in my jam, and not huge chunks, just, you know, just enough where you still have some texture. So I'm gonna leave it like this. This is the way that I like to do it. Some people will mash it all the way down into a juice. Like I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this into a stainless steel pan once I get the rest of these cleaned and cut up, and then we're going to start the cooking process. Alright, so I've gotten everything into the pot. The apples, the strawberries, the lemon juice, the sugar. And I have this on medium heat. I want it to come to a boil, but not so quickly. Because once it comes to a boil, I'm going to have to continuously stir it so that it doesn't stick. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. You don't want it to stick to the sides. You don't want it to stick anywhere. That'll just ruin the whole entire process. So I'm going to clean up some of my mess over here while this comes up to a boil. And then I'll come back and do the whole stirring process. So you can see the consistency once it's done. Also, before I get cleaning, don't forget to put all your scraps in your compost bin. A lot of the tomatoes weren't good. They had brown spots. They were really mushy. So I kind of just cut that away. But anyhow, even the paper towel that you use to clean yourself up, as long as it's a white paper towel with no dyes or anything on it, that can go in your compost as well. Alright, I've gotten my dishes cleaned up, put them in the dishwasher to dry. More times than often, I just wash the dishes and put them in the dishwasher just for the drying process, because yeah, it's a lot less running the dishwasher going on these days because of electricity. Both of us being home all day every day because of Rona and using way more electricity, you try to find ways to kind of cut down on that. But anyhow, enough of me trying to be budget friendly, or not trying to be. I am budget. I am being budget friendly. There's really nothing wrong with going old school every once in a while and just washing your dishes by hand. But anyhow, all right, I had to do some readjusting and move my pot over onto this side. But anyhow, it has come to that boil that I was talking about, and now is the stirring. The part where you don't want to stop stirring because you do not want your fruit to stick. You do not want the juices that are becoming your jam to stick to the pot. I've set my timer for 20 minutes. But yes, I'm holding the camera, so of course I'm not going to stand here or bore you guys with 20 minutes of stirring, but I just wanted you to see this process, up close and personal, and that there is a part where, yeah, it can get very, very time consuming. I would use a metal spoon, but I cannot for some reason find my long handled metal spoon, so I'm just going to use this spatula, which is just as fine. But anyhow, yes, we're going to do this process here for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, I'll be back. Okay? All right, so it's been, well, I've got 1 minute left, and it will be 20 minutes that I've been stirring. You can see the difference in the consistency. I'm gonna take this off. If you're working with a gas stove, all you would have to do is just turn the burner off and put the lid on it. But being that on these electric stoves, even when you turn the eye off, it still remains hot for quite some time. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to set it over there on the counter. I'm going to put the lid on it and let it sit for 5 minutes. Alright, I've got myself set up the best I can to show you guys what I have going on here. Hopefully you can see that. Anyhow, your jam. This is now a hot zone. Everything in this area is ridiculously hot. So we are going to carefully, I'm going to do 2 at a time. Spoon your mixture, well, measuring cup your mixture. I realized where my my metal spoons are, and they're in the basement. I don't want to go in the basement to get them. You're gonna fill these about 1/4 inch from the top. A 1/4 inch from the top. More. Alright, stand that here. This one can stand a little bit more. There we go. Alright. I guess that one could as well. But anyhow, wipe your rim. Hot. With a paper towel. You don't want anything getting in the way of this jar being able to seal. This paper towel has just a little bit of vinegar, white vinegar on it. And this one can actually stand for a little bit more as well. Now what you do need to do, I'm going to have to wipe it with vinegar again. But you just want to get in there and give it a little stir. And release any bubbles that might be in there. Another thing that can ruin your whole process. Not so much ruin the process, but just, well, yeah, it is ruining the process by not allowing the jar to seal. Just give it another wipe. Another wipe. And then my lids back here that have been kept nice and hot. Now don't strong arm the twists. You just want to tighten it. That's it. A finger's grip worth. You want air to be able to escape, and then put it right back in your water bath. So as I was putting those in that pot, I realized there wasn't enough water to completely cover the jars. You want the water to be able to completely cover the jars. Yeah, it's just a process that I hadn't thought about. So yes, I'm kind of glad that that happened. So that for anyone out here doing this for the first time, it's a little tip to know is that when you're processing these, you need them to completely submerge in water. Now, when you put them in the water, if you see little air bubbles coming up, that is a good thing. That's why you don't tighten the ring so tight, because you want air to be able to escape during this process. So anyways, 15 minutes. Actually, I'm going to let this get up to a hard boil. Then let it process for 15 minutes, and that's it. So I've allowed these to process for 5 minutes. I'm sorry, 15 minutes. I'm going to let it sit for at least 5 minutes or so, just to give that steam time to settle, to give that boiling water time to settle, and then I will go in and I'll take the jars out. All right, here we are. The water is settled, and I can get in here and pull these out. Oh, that looks so good. So good. There we are. So now we're going to let these sit here for about 12 hours and allow them to finish doing their thing. Allow them to seal. And that's it. We'll store them in the pantry. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.